There's no chance that happens because Donald Trump believes very powerfully that all the old alliances are broken. He wants a new world, a set of alignments. He wants to align the U.S. with Russia. He wants to align the U.S. with authoritarianism. And he really believes that Europe and the U.K. are sort of in the rearview mirror of America.
So first question before we get into your advice. So I want your advice today, Rick, on what on earth the Europeans should be doing. What on earth is Donald Trump playing at is maybe the first question we should try and get an answer to.
Look, I think the key to this whole shenanigan that we're experiencing right now is not that he wants to take control of Greenland. It's that he wants to destroy NATO. He believes in this vision of a world where Xi gets Asia, Putin gets Europe, and he gets the rest of the world. And it is a bizarre, sick, wrong belief, but he understands he can't leave NATO because of the United States law and this deep entanglement, but he could break it. And he sees this as an opportunity to break NATO, to break Europe. And, unfortunately, night before last now, when he released these text messages from various world leaders trying to appease him and kiss his, rear, it showed me as probably the leading anthropologist of Donald Trump's bad behaviors, if you appease him, he hates you more. If you stand up to him, if you punch him in the nose when he bullies you, he backs down. And so right now, this idea that we're going to have all these European leaders try to seduce him and woo him and praise him and give him awards, none of that will work. You have to say to him, okay, fine, have it your way. Then we're going to walk away. You tariff us, we'll tariff you back. You cut us off, we'll cut you off. You've got to be strong with this guy. Sometimes you have to tell your friends harder messages than you have to tell your enemies. And this is one of those cases.
I mean, that's the very opposite of Keir Starmer's approach. I mean, Keir Starmer is almost the uber example of someone who says, actually, the EU's falling out with Donald Trump. Our advantage is to maybe be the guy close to Trump. And so if he comes smashing into the EU, he might give Britain a break.
There's no chance that happens because Donald Trump believes very powerfully that all the old alliances are broken. He wants a new world, a set of alignments. He wants to align the U.S. with Russia. He wants to align the U.S. with authoritarianism. And he really believes that Europe and the U.K. are sort of in the rearview mirror of America. They're just inconveniences now. And that in his words, that Europe ripped us off because NATO didn't pay enough. I mean, he treats it like he's a mafia don, saying, that's a nice continent you got there. It'd be a shame if there was a fire. Maybe you should pay me some more. It really is a shame. And as an American, I apologize to our European friends and our British friends because it is just such a shocking abandonment of American leadership in the world.
Do you think he has the same view of the UN? I mean, on this program, we regularly talk about the ineffectual nature of the UN, the way the Security Council is paralyzed by veto and all of that. So I'm not saying he's wrong about that, but I wonder in your list of institutions he wants to replace, the thinking is this strange board of peace thing is like Trump's personal UN.
I think that's right. And look, when Donald Trump has addressed the UN as president, he has taken away one lesson: is that they're either going to sit stone faced or they're going to laugh at him, not with him. And he didn't like either of those experiences. And so I don't think you're going to see him being out there, pushing for the UN to play a role in the Israel-Gaza problem. You are going to see him trying to, do this pay-to-play weird situation where he brings in people who will put $1 billion into the kitty for him, and God knows where the money goes with Trump anymore. We found out today that he's personally made $1.4 billion personally from being president in the last 11 months. So it is a remarkable abandonment. Again, the U.S. has been well served by global institutions for the last 80 years, NATO and the UN. We don't always have to like the UN. It's not always effective. It doesn't always get the job done. But, it's the old, jaw is better than war.
What about the U.S. institutions? I'm interested, Rick, in your thoughts on that, because, again, from the outside, and you're a great Democrat thinker, from the outside, it looks like America's basically said, well, Donald Trump's really popular. The tech bros love him. We can't stop him. And he's basically assumed almost monarchical powers. I mean, if you had to think, we're about to get to the 250th.
He has. Oh, no. Yeah.
So how's that? Go on.
Yeah, let's not pretend there's anything other than fear driving all this. Those tech bros don't love Donald Trump any more than I do. And I'm a former Republican. I'm a conservative, and they don't love him any more than I do. They look at him and they say, well, he's got the power to regulate us. He's got the power to cause us delays in developing these AI platforms that they're all deeply invested in. And so we're going to pretend that we love him, and we're going to bring him gold medals, and we're going to put $1 million donations in for dinners with him, and they're going to play the game. But the institutions in the country that have truly failed us, the independent courts have completely collapsed into Trump, especially the Supreme Court. And Congress, which is supposed to be a check on the presidency, no matter who it is, no matter what party they're from, Congress, the Republicans absolutely have said, we're just a subsidiary of Donald Trump. And the deeply disturbing thing about that is, it used to be in the House of Representatives, you represented your state, your district in your state. And now none of those members represent their districts. They represent Trump. In the Senate, you represented your state, and now they represent Trump. And look, the Democrats aren't much better, because they've basically thrown up their hands and said, oh, well, we're going to write a sternly worded letter and hope he changes his mind. That shame is going to somehow be a powerful moral suasion for Donald Trump.
It was put to us yesterday, Rick, that we're at the high point of Donald Trump's powers, though, because the midterms are on the way. The Republicans will probably, if American normal political rules apply, will get a bit of a kicking. They might lose the House. And therefore, I don't know what that means, though, because there's two ways of looking at that. One, this is as powerful as he gets, and therefore he might retreat. Or two, this is as powerful as he gets, and he'll want to cling to that irrespective of what happens domestically.
Donald Trump has always been a gambler. The reason he sent people to attack the Capitol on January 6, 2021, he didn't think he had a legal leg to stand on, but he thought maybe he could scare them so badly they could delay it and cause some sort of trouble and find some way to finally pull a good card out of the deck. He will do the same thing when they lose the House. They will almost, there's very little math that shows they will hold the House right now. They are also now in danger in the Senate as well. But Donald Trump will say this election's invalid. The election's being stolen by illegal aliens, and he'll send ICE to try to seize ballot boxes. We are going to have a very rough year for American democracy this year. And the problem that is pendant here is that no one in his own party will try to stop him. No one in the White House will say, I quit if you do this. He has broken the idea in America that government officials swear an oath to the Constitution. They have now sworn themselves to him, and it is monarchical. That is by design. There are very few people who will face up to the fact that this is going to irreparably harm America. And the irony is, Donald Trump is the most unpopular president in modern history by several orders of magnitude at this point. His approval rating among Americans is in the mid to low 30s in most polls of likely American voters. He has lost all of the issue advantages he once had. People are even upside down with him in polling on immigration now, which was his strong suit for a decade. He's 27 points underwater on the economy because he's destroyed the American economy with his foolish trade war. Nothing's going his way except his ability to BS a lot of soft minds in Washington that he is this godlike figure.
So your final message, Rick, before you go to the Europeans is grow some stones.
Grow some stones, punch the bully back in the nose. If you do not, if you believe that Donald Trump will eat you last, you are making the mistake everybody who's ever tried to feed an alligator in Florida has made. When you run out of things to feed it, it comes and eats you.
Good to speak to you, Rick. Couldn't be clearer on that point. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.